everybody, this is Mike with On Point Preparedness. In these last days, evil is literally bursting at the seams. And so it's no surprise then that when I look on my channel and others, I see lots of people commenting asking for prayers because they're struggling with a particular type of sin. Doesn't matter what sin it is, it's just that they're struggling. So what I want to share with you is some biblical guidance that is so incredibly simple that I think you might laugh at the end of this video. We make things so complicated, but with discerning eyes and a good teacher, the Bible truly is simple, and you can all relate to every single one of these examples. Now, especially parents with little kids, or even if you don't have kids and you're watching parents trying to, take care and discipline their own children. It seems like everything that you tell them not to do, the little rascals are going to go and do it. So don't touch that. Don't pull your sister's hair. Don't go over there. Don't run away. No matter what you say, they are going to do it. And unfortunately, that trait of disobedience continues in through adulthood. So I was in a training talking about warning signs, and there was this company that was in manufacturing, and they had welding that was occurring constantly on the second floor. And so because the pedestrian walkway was on the first floor underneath of these operations, they put a big bold sign saying, "Warning, do not look up." So naturally what the safety officers found is once people saw this warning sign saying "do not look up," it almost instilled a curiosity in people, and so every single person looked up and then was getting these welding sparks in their eyes. And lastly, we had that big solar eclipse where we were told don't look up at the sun without protective eyewear. And then we have this. And so here's how all these examples relate back to the Bible, which was written nearly 2,000 years ago, and it's still relevant. Paul talks about the power of sin and the power over it in Romans 7:7-8. He says, "Yet if it had not been for the law, I would not have known sin, for I would not have known what it is to covet if the law had not said, 'You shall not covet.' But sin, seizing an opportunity through the commandment, produced in me all kinds of covetousness." So here you have it. Every single time you discipline your child and say, "Do not do this, do not touch that, do not run away," or you have signs saying, "Do not look up," the fact that it is providing a commandment to say, "Do not do this," sin seizes an opportunity on it for you to want to do it. So if you're dieting, it seems like if you're dieting, you're trying to cut out a particular thing like soda or pop, the fact that you can't have it makes you want it even more than when you had it to begin with. It is sin seizing the opportunity when you give consciousness to the sin that you're trying to avoid. So how do we combat the sin? Well, I know a lot of people try to willfully not sin, and a lot of people typically tend to provide timelines. So I've been alcohol free for 2 months. I've been pornography free for 3 weeks. But instead, we should be doing something that's seemingly counterintuitive. We shouldn't focus on the sin at all, nor the timelines that we've been without that sin because it gives it power. Rather, we should be focusing on the fruit of the Spirit. Now, this is not to say that we should not be telling people to not do something when it is wrong, whether it's our children or a brother and sister in Christ who's sinning. The difference here is that our primary focus should be on the fruits of the Spirit and not the sin itself. Now, for me personally, when I've struggled with particular sins, I find them shedding away when I focus on the fruit of the Spirit. So when I'm working on my videos, when I'm in the Word, when I'm in a giving spirit, I tend to not even think about the sin and it doesn't have control over me. But the second I try to will myself saying, "Today I'm not going to do this sin," well then sin seizes the opportunity and it creeps up right on top of me. And lastly, in addition to not focusing on not doing the sin, we must remain in continual prayer with the Father, asking us to protect us and not lead us into temptation, just as the Father's prayer says. This is Mike with On Point Preparedness. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you win all your battles against sin. God bless.